youtube.com/MayhewMayhem. That's youtube.com/MayhewMayhem.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I am your host, my name is Michael Mayhew, and I am here with my co-hosts.
Nick from youtube.com/theTicTacMan, and joining me is...
Hey everybody, it's me, Greg.
And joining us today is our intern, Emmanuel.
Hola.
And as I said, welcome to 30 Minutes of Mayhem, the podcast your mother can be ashamed of.
This episode is a continuation of episode 80, so if you haven't listened to it yet, you might want to go back and check that out first.
Anyone needs to do their warm-up kegels or whatever, get that shit going real quick. Warming up that throat.
Take only one oxy per.
Me, ma, 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 mo, 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 mo. Ba, 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 bo.
Greg, do you not have any warm-ups?
Woo!
No, I'm good.
Maybe that's why everybody else's performance is better.
Oh.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should do some warm-ups.
You mean like vocal warm-ups or
I
something?
don't know, whatever you gotta do, man. You gotta do some like dick push-ups or cock push-ups, fucking dick warm-ups. If you gotta up-slap your dick to get it going, I don't care. Whatever you gotta do, but I need you to be on your game.
Yeah, Greg, you need to start out. I suggest "Best Friend" by Yellow Wolf, but forget the Yellow Wolf part. Just do Eminem's line. If you can do that in one continuous go, I think you're ready.
Just repeatedly up-slap your balls. It'll get you going like a bull.
I mean,
You know what?
that's
Better
mostly
yet, like a bull. Not to cut you off. Like a bull, just get a rubber band and tighten it a few times, and then stick it around your nuts, and then don't take it off unless your performance is well. So you like effectively castrate yourself if you're not ready to go. So you want to keep your balls because you want to be able to
I
come.
hope.
So therefore, you perform so you can keep your balls. I mean, whatever mental state you got to get in to get there is what I'm saying.
Plus, like, best case scenario is like you don't never have to deal with children.
Yeah,
Like, sorry, my balls are off, babe. No kids. Looks like we'll have to live a long, happy life together.
I don't think anybody can live a long, happy life with me.
Well, you better take the fucking aspirin, draw a hot bath, get in there and get that fucking straight razor. Burn, it's up the road, not across it. So, here we go.
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. This is Greg.
Hi.
Greg, are you a virgin?
Yes.
This is Greg in 30 Minutes of Mayhem apparel. Tell me, Greg, are you still a virgin?
Yes.
Then I don't know what your fucking problem is. Because 30 Minutes of Mayhem has gotten me laid.
If you want to help get Greg laid, email us 30minutesofmayhem@gmail.com. Hashtag take Greg's V-card.
Or if you want my face on your body, head over to MayhewMayhem.spreadshirt.com.
Unlike me, maybe a 30 Minutes of Mayhem shirt will have others saturated by your sweet succulence.
I doubt that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spiel of Fortune. On this particular episode of Spiel of Fortune, I will be your host. My name is Michael Mayhew, and we have our contestants here today, Nick, Greg, and Emmanuel. And today's topic that we will be covering how this works, just in case you haven't heard Spiel of Fortune before. How this works is each individual person will have their opportunity to tell their story. On one topic, I will pick the winner based on who I think's story is the funniest and or the most fucked up, whatever criteria that I want to judge it on. And then the winner will get a prize of nothing, aside from pride. And
Pride in their shame.
pride in their shame, exactly. Now, without further ado, this topic for this episode of Spiel of Fortune is your most embarrassing work scenario or situation. The first contestant is going to be Emmanuel.
Oh, most embarrassing work story. Wow. This was more of a personal embarrassment on my part, just the way I handled the situation in the end. I was working at McDonald's with my good friend Jake, on night turn. So it was me, him, and a manager. And then we had one new trainee who I was teaching how to work cashier. We had a huge fucking rush. I was already stressed out because I was teaching this new girl and things were running slow, yada yada. This guy comes through. He wants an Angus burger, plain. Nothing on it. No shit, just plain. I ring it up. He finally comes around. I hand him his order, and, off his trot, and I take care of other people. He comes back around the drive-thru, not even 10 seconds later. He's like, yeah, I wanted this plain, and it's got everything on it. Jake hears it over the intercom. He's like, oh, fuck it. I'm sorry, I fucked that up. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. He kind of said it last minute anyway. So, comes back around finally. Jake makes the burger again, hand it to him. He's off again.
At what point, not to interrupt, but at what point in the story does the trainee suck your dick in the cooler? Are we getting to that?
We're getting that.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's just before I clocked out. I want
Sorry,
to get paid.
Didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
He comes back around a second time, and he's really fucking pissed off. He's like, listen, buddy, I just want my fucking burger plain. Like, you guys don't even have to put anything on it. I'm not kidding. He was pissed. And at this point, I'm pissed. Well, he comes back around. I take the burger off his hands. Here's where I fucked up. I accidentally mixed up the plain burger with the previous burger that had everything on it. And in a fit of rage in front of the new employee, because I like to just go on these dramatic, funny outbursts, I fucking ripped the box off of the Angus burger that I thought had everything on it, and I took a big fucking bite into it. And this is after I gave the guy just gave him back his other burger for the third fucking time now. Bit into it. I was like, that's fine. I don't taste any ketchup or mustard. Like, oh my god. Open it up. Sure enough, I took the biggest fucking bite of this guy's burger. The one that he was supposed to get. And it comes back around again.
Oh no.
Even more infuriated. And instead of taking responsibility for it, I blamed it on my friend Jake. And he felt so fucking guilty about it. Until I told him about it later, and then he was really pissed at me. I don't know. That was pretty embarrassing for me. I viciously devoured this burger in front of the new employee just to make a joke, and then I realized that
you gave him the wrong one.
Yeah. I gave
Oh my
him
god. New employee's probably like, man, that dude's an asshole.
She's probably like, that dude's an asshole. I want to suck his dick in the cooler later.
He was pretty cute, but there was no dick sucking that night, unfortunately.
You should
means the way you worded it, though, that means there wasn't not dick sucking down the line.
I mean, honestly, at some point,
until morning. I said no.
Someone should have probably sucked that customer's dick at some point.
I should have. It should have been me. I should have devoured his dick like I did his burger.
You should have left parts of his plain burger in your mouth while you sucked his dick.
I know you don't like the ketchup, baby. It's too spicy for you.
So basically, you were trying to be an asshole because this dude got you pissed off at this point by taking a big bite of this burger just to be over the top and be dramatic, and then
being the burger.
It ended up being the burger that he was supposed to get.
Yeah, I just want to take a bite of the burger that I thought was fucked up. Here I find out that I've been mixing up the burgers twice in a row. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, contestant number 1. Contestant number 2 is going to be Nick.
So, in my 10 years at working at one of the nation's largest hardware distributors, or hardware retailers.
Is that a euphemism?
Hardware retailers. It's about to be a euphemism. So, I remember clearly in one of my first summers, we had a gentleman, he looks balding. He's probably about 58, 60, sweating, whenever you have to shit real bad, you get them shit sweats.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he comes in, and he's, rubbing his legs, coming in, hey, ask the one girl at the register, this tiny little blonde, and he's like, hey, where's the nearest restroom?
At what point, not to interrupt,
at
what point does she suck your dick behind the mall? Are we getting to that?
We're getting there.
Okay, we're getting there?
Almost, yeah. All right, so dude rushes into the store. About 10 minutes later, I get a call from my plant specialist. Nice black lady. Come in there. I'm like, hey, Miss, what's up? She just looked at me like, there's this dude walking around, and some customers are getting real offended by him. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, he's like older. He's like wearing basketball shorts, and he's got like a balding head. And I'm like, oh, that dude who ran in, he must have like shit himself or something. So I go walking around to find him. I come up to the checkout to find him with a cart full of stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm just looking to get home. All right. And I walk around to the side of the register, and the blonde at the register has this like mortified look on her face. And as I move to the front of the register, I see why she's like so free. Like the dude's like leaning in to like have her adjust something on the bill because the price was off. So he's like leaning against the register. Yeah, his dick is hanging out of them basketball shorts. It's rubbing all up against like the table of the register, and like his loose old man dick, like floppy as fuck, just swinging everywhere. The part comes where she has to tell him to put his card in, and it's like right next to his dick, and she's just like, yeah, could you just bring your card through? And he's like, oh, where's the thing at? And she like so ahead. I had to come over. I'm like, the machine right here, and just like touching like the table like 4 inches from his dick. Like I could feel the warmth of his dick.
Oh, like radiating.
Oh,
radiating.
Right.
Radiating. So this motherfucker gets checked out and walks away, and she just looks at me like, should we have said something? I'm like, what the fuck are we gonna say? It's an old dude with his dick hanging out. And then she's like, I know what I'm going to say. Walks over to another register and says, taking people on register 2 now. Like, I'm not gonna let anyone fucking touch that register.
Oh my god.
Somebody should have sucked his dick.
Should have been the cashier.
I mean, that's what he was probably hoping for. He probably rolled in like, man, I got a shit so bad. And then he looked over, he's like, man,
you know why he had this shit so bad? Because he got 40 different fucking Angus burgers going to McDonald's, and he was eating them on the way to the fucking store, and he's just like, God damn it.
Oh,
and then he was just trying to get his dick sucked. So,
that's what we all
he was
tried
like,
to
yeah, if I show her the goods while I'm checking out, she'd be like, yo, you want that dick sucked? No extra fee.
Kind of store, sir.
Yeah. So I had to go get Clorox wipes and wipe that motherfucker down.
Oh god, I can imagine. Said it was a gross, like, oh god, I don't even want to think about it. Like, just
you want to think about old man dick?
Yeah, that's just, that's disgusting.
Greg, to make things better for you, there was no turtleneck on that one.
Oh,
There you go.
Now I can't get that image out of my head.
It at least was a kosher brat. It was a kosher brat, and that's all that matters.
I wish I had a big enough dick to be able to just do that. Like, just walk around with my dick flopped out and rub it all over like some cat shit.
That's why guys shouldn't be allowed to wear basketball.
It was impressive. It was impressively sized. Like, if I had a dick that big, I'd show it off too.
It's just a well-endowed old man.
He's just like, I'm not dead yet.
He's like, well, if I take this fucking Viagra with my heart medication, I might be, but...
Oh my god.
I got barely enough blood for both heads, so let's make it quick.
It's either I want to live today or I want to live today.
There's a fetish. Fuck. We actually wrote a joke into.
Fuck yes.
No, Nick, we wrote a joke into Murder He Composed about this fetish. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but anyways, there's this fetish where you get off by rubbing on things. Like, especially in like public or whatever, you like rub yourself on stuff or like whatever. Frauderism.
Frottage.
Frauding. Just frauding.
Is it frauding? I don't know. It's something like that. But anyway, I wonder if this dude is one of those people. As much I hate to say that because I don't want to hey man, like I don't want to see your dick, but if like you're not hurting others.
Well, I'm just glad he didn't climax, if that's the case.
Oh, he's just fucking coming all over the goddamn conveyor belt. And it's just rolling it around into the fucking machine.
Oh god, now we gotta clean this up. Oh.
She's like, I need you to sign, and then all of a sudden, all over that credit card machine just...
The fucking Joker just came in and fucking chopped Greg in the throat just then. But he's just fucking busting nut all over the fucking conveyor belt and the fucking credit card machine and the floor, and the person behind him's feet. My doctor's looking at him like, why are you coming on my feet?
You want to hook up later or something?
It's like, I mean, I'm not busy. Like, you want to,
You want to stomp some nuts with that, huh?
if you want to do, I mean, whatever. But thank you, contestant number 2, and our final contestant on this episode of Spiel of Fortune is Greg.
God, I wish you had picked me first, because there's no way I'm ever going to be able to top, and like both of you guys, but especially Nick's. I mean, like that is got to be one of the most embarrassing situations anybody could ever be in. But
I'd like to call the story. I'd like to call it the Rowdy Wriggler.
Hang on. That is the episode title.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm probably not going to be able to top Nick or Emmanuel's, but especially not Nick's, because goddamn, that is embarrassing. But for me, I think the most embarrassing, I think I'm a little too critical of myself, so I kind of embarrass myself every day because I sometimes like stumble over sentences when I'm trying to talk to people when I'm seating them, and I walk away feeling like, oh my god, why didn't I just shut my mouth? Why didn't I just seat them in? But probably the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me was a few weeks ago. Part of my duty as a host is I don't just seat the people and greet them at the greet them at the door and seat them, but I also bus tables. So this one time I was bussing a table at the restaurant, and normally when I'm bussing tables, I make sure that I try not to like overstack stuff that I'm trying to take back, because I don't want to fucking drop anything and like make an even bigger mess than the one I'm trying to clean up. So I was making the stack, and somebody had left like a half full beer bottle on the table. So I was like, well, I got to take that back too. I don't know how I fucked up picking up something so badly, but it was like the second I tried to pick it up, like I guess my brain decided, oh, well, I'm not going to close the hand when I go to reach it, so I'm just going to fucking slap the thing off the table, because that's what happened. Like, I tried to grab it, but my hand wouldn't close, so it was like I slapped it off the table. And you know how sometimes when something bad happens, everything goes into slow motion? Like, that's what happened. Like, I could swear I heard Ave Maria being played in the background as I just saw, like, all this beer coming out of the bottle in, like, slow motion and just, like, splashing all over the floor in like the booth next to me. And luckily it could have been worse. There could have been people sitting in the booth, the table that happened at. So I did it right in front of people.
Okay,
I did it
I was
right in
checking
front of
my,
people. They saw me, and I was just like, after it happened, I just sort of stood there for like 10 seconds just thinking to myself,
Did anyone come up to help you?
Die now.
Did anyone come up?
I'll kill myself.
Did you call the cup or?
Did anyone come up to help you?
I mean, no, nobody else came up to help me. I mean, it was me. Like, I told somebody about the spill.
Like
I of course,
like a waitress that was right there, like didn't come up to help you?
Nope. I apologized to the people at the other table, and they said it wasn't a big deal because they didn't get any beer on them. But I mean, it's still like I was just like, I don't know what happened. Like, for some reason, like.
Okay, hang on, wait. Not to interrupt. At what point did one of those customers suck your dick in the kitchen? Greg, in your story, at what point did someone suck your dick in the kitchen? At no point in the story. All right. So what happened was we had a technical error, so we lost the last little bit of it, and so now the winner of this episode of Spiel of Fortune is Nick. Applause! Yay! Everyone's having this.
I don't even think it needed to go to the judge's decision. I was just waiting on everyone else to concede.
No, yeah, I conceded the second you started, man. I mean, that was just too good. It was.
I brought the tragedy upon myself, so yeah. Yours was actually like embarrassment.
Yeah. So.
Floppy dicks. I mean.
Yeah, we Sherlock Holmes it out. Like I said, the Rowdy
Wriggler.
The Rowdy Wriggler went to McDonald's. He couldn't get his order right. He got a burger. It was so bad he nearly shit himself at a hardware store. And then he whipped his dick out. He to pay for everything. He came all over the conveyor belt and the credit card thing and all over my doctor's feet behind him in line. They met up afterwards to step on each other's balls by going to a restaurant in which they left a half-open beer in which Greg slapped all over the place because one patron there wouldn't suck his dick in the kitchen.
And the person who wouldn't suck his dick was the lady who performed the Go on you.
The lady that wouldn't suck his dick was the person who ultrasounded my balls. But until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Spiel of Fortune, and remember to get your kids spayed and neutered.
You ever been watching bukkake porn and want to hear something other than the guys groaning as they burst on the girl's face? Well, I have the solution for you. 30 Minutes of Mayhem gives you an enjoyable listening experience, and it's easily accessible on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker, while watching a girl getting bathed in and gargle gallons of guy goo. 30 Minutes of Mayhem, the podcast your mother can be ashamed of.
For the final topic of this episode is, should companies take responsibility for the dumb shit that their clients do with their products, or is it entirely on the person using it? This is a toss-up. Anyone take?
Well, you see, whenever I used Flex Seal and sprayed it all over my balls, because that's how I like to grope them, because it gives me the nice grippage while I'm rubbing off, and I got testicular cancer, it said on the back of that can that it was proven in the state of California to cause cancer, but I don't live in the state of California, so I sued them anyways.
Did you win?
So,
Of course I won, because they settled.
so
I mean, no. Companies shouldn't be held responsible for the dumb shit people do with their stuff.
So you're saying it's not the company's
It's not the company's responsibility if someone does do something stupid with their product.
So what you're telling
spray their
us,
balls with Flex Seal and then jerk off to the point in which so much Flex Seal is pumping through their system they get testicular cancer. Or you can do that, because that's kind of hot.
Yeah, whatever. If you do the whole jerking off the Flex Seal thing, I do know a good ultrasound tech for when you're finding out that you got testicular cancer.
just don't wear
Can
sandals.
she really know with precision, though? Like, how many balls has she really done? Like, is this a daily occurrence?
Fuck, I don't know. The doctor did tell me in his 8 years of being a doctor that he's seen many ball-related injuries.
That's because all the
You're
nurses
sure
are
some
like,
of them are his
we'll
own.
send him to old Ball Stomper there. He loves that shit.
If the company blatantly puts on the product, like, don't do this fucking shit, and you do it, and then obviously there's no grounds for you to be able to, like, sue the company, and the company can't be held liable in any way, shape, or form, because they're like, look, on the fucking chainsaw it said don't try to stop the chainsaw with your testicles, and you
but
did.
things like guns say don't shoot children with them, and people do that, and then they sue gun companies for letting their children get shot by producing a gun.
Right. Well, the gun shouldn't have shot that kid. That's all.
I know.
That's all I gotta say. So if the gun just didn't, if we didn't let guns have a mind of their own and make their own conscious decisions to shoot children, then there wouldn't be a problem, Nick.
God, you make so much sense.
For fuck's
Well, they
sake.
take care of grizzly bears.
No, they only shoot.
Okay.
It's why Nick loves guns so much. What they have in common, they shoot children. He shoots children.
We just spray kids up all the time. Blah, 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 blah.
If you get what he's saying, he's talking about semen. Greg, what do you think, since you haven't said shit?
I basically agree with Nick. I don't believe that companies should be held responsible for what people do with their products, because they can put every warning label on. And they do. A lot of the time they put every warning label possible that you could think of for every contingency you could think of on these products. And 9 times out of 10, somebody still figures out a way to fuck shit up and, like, hurt themselves or somebody else with them. So I feel that unless they didn't do proper testing beforehand, like they said, like what Nick pointed out, like, I don't think gun manufacturers should be held accountable because some nutcase decided that he was going to open fire on a preschool or something like that, because it's not the gun manufacturer's fault that, you know, some nut job got a hold of one of their guns and shot some kids. I mean, that's not what it was intended for. It happened. So, I mean, no, I would have to agree with Nick that they shouldn't be held responsible for the actions of a few dumbass individuals.
So, basically, what I'm gathering is the consensus of this is, unless it's some crazy unforeseen shit that the company didn't know about.
Here's something to, you know, purify your water and it ends up making it toxic to kill everyone. Then that's kind of a thing where
right. So Like if a gun manufacturer sold a gun to you, and by shooting children with it, it gave you testicular cancer. Like at that point, you could sue the gun company.
Hell
for
yeah!
giving
If
you
I got
testicular-
lead poisoning from it, I'd do that.
Right. So if it's something unforeseen like that, when you're shooting children, your nuts right off. Which is again, we're basically describing
I
Nick's
just
life.
the Rowdy Wriggler kicks in the door and just starts spraying.
Well, he's too busy. He's too busy dragging his dick all over a conveyor belt. Can you imagine just whipping your dick out and letting it touch the conveyor belt as it rolls?
Oh God, no.
Just like you clean it down first, right? But it would be just hitting the backside of the head of your dick. It'd probably feel good. If I start fucking coming all over the conveyor belt and all over the
I'm about
cashier
to
or
fucking
whatever.
vomit.
You said she was blonde, right? What? Because we're talking about fucking girls, Greg?
Oh.
Is that why you're about to vomit?
Oh, I thought you were still talking about touching the dude's dick and just.
Well, I already know what you're thinking about. No one said anything about touching the dude's dick aside from you. He's over here thinking about jacking off the fucking Rowdy fucking Wriggler.
He's got a point.
I don't even know why I hang out with you people.
And you see what I said about Greg at the beginning of the show has been confirmed, and that's why I am the next Jesus.
So we're coming to the consensus, as long as it isn't something unforeseen that is like actually the company's fault, then no, the company shouldn't be held responsible for stupid people doing stupid shit. The one that everyone always brings up when this conversation comes up about shit like this is the McDonald's coffee thing. If you watch the documentary on it, but I think the documentary is actually just called Hot Coffee. If you watch that, you understand why she was able to sue the company, and it makes fucking perfect sense.
Well, yeah, because in that instance,
Not gonna give spoilers. Not gonna give spoilers. So
I think she was all right, but the thing that made people blow it out of proportion, like she was the bad guy, was the fact that they weren't giving her all that money, or she wasn't suing for all that money. The judge deemed it necessary as punitive damages, which is why it seemed in excess, but it really wasn't. It was to punish the corporation.
People just don't have the facts of that story, and that's why they're like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. Of course, coffee's hot. All that blah blah blah. Watch that documentary. I'm pretty sure it's called Hot Coffee.
Yeah, it is.
That is about pretty much exactly what we're talking about, even though she didn't do stupid shit, but that's one of the things that people always like to bring up in this conversation.
Yeah, that really was the company's fault in the end. I mean, the lady had an accident, but her accident shouldn't have caused her third-degree burns. I feel bad for that woman for probably having the stigma against her.
Well, she was old enough when it happened. She's probably dead by now.
You're probably
yeah,
right.
that's true. She got
She was 60-something years old.
yeah, and that was like back in the mid-90s.
Yeah, so she's dead now, so it doesn't fucking matter. Let's go. Let's keep going.
that's
Or she was actually, now she's a he because she burned her vagina straight off, and then she was inside of a hardware store.
Oh God, yes. And she saw what the Rowdy Wriggler was, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I want to be just like him."
She was dragging her old man vag penis across different things in the conveyor belt, coming all over my doctor's feet. And after shitting themselves because of some McDonald's burger, going to a restaurant afterwards and consuming drinks and leaving a half-empty beer that pissed Greg off so bad that he slapped it all over some other customers and then let them suck his dick. And by let them, I mean a devil showed up at Greg's house and checked him anally for his temperature. It turns out it was probably Nick. Spoiler alert. And that does it for this episode of 30 Minutes of Mayhem. I have been your host. My name is Michael Mayhew, and I have been here with my co-hosts.
Nick from YouTube.com/TheTicTacMan.
You just do Nick at the end.
Yeah.
Right?
Emmanuel from Mexico.
And
Go
Greg.
ahead. Oh my God.
You motherfuckers. All right.
That's it. That's the show.
Okay. Cut it off. Cut it off. We're done. We're done.
Before I embarrass myself
sure-
anymore.
Well,
What?
I mean,
No, that was great.
Greg, there's been how many episodes?
Oh
of this,
yeah,
Greg?
true.
You don't feel like you haven't done that already? You know what? Fuck it. Okay, so make sure to check us out on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, all of those locations. Donate to us on PayPal via 30minutesmayhem@gmail.com, and I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. And later, fellas.